Hey guys, what's going on? So I thought I'd do another video on the OCP or optimal candle positioning indicator system, this leading indicator system that I talked about yesterday. Since I did the video, I've had so many people reach out to me and ask me more about it. I don't think I made it very clear in the first video exactly what the indicator is and why it's a leading indicator and not a lagging indicator. So most of these indicators use like RSI or moving average crossovers are generally lagging, and they can work a bit, but they're not nearly as good as something like this where you basically have price action in real time telling you where the underlying is likely to go based on the indicator system. So this is really cool, and I'm trying to get the creator to come on and do an actual like live stream with me. I think that would be really cool. He can walk through how he came up with this idea, how it's been tested, all this cool stuff. All I have to go on at the moment is what was basically on the landing page, which I'll leave a link to in the description below. It's part of the page you're looking at now. It's part of the landing page for this indicator. And what's really unique about this is it's the only indicator system I know of that will find this particular candle formation, and it really doesn't have a name. So you have like shooting stars and all this stuff with technical analysis and candlestick patterns, but this one finds these particular patterns for you. And it's really not a classic setup that like most traders have heard about. Usually you hear about something like a bullish engulfing candle or something like that. This is a little different, and most traders just skip right past it. So this is what the system really is, and I'll show you the real examples on the SPY 1 minute for the last trading day in just a few minutes here as well. But this is basically the system. It's really simple. You have a candle that has a big tail like this. So sellers stepped in and pushed us all the way down. And then the next candle was what is most important. You want the body of the candle closing inside the tail. So it's closing inside the tail here. And when this happens, the indicator, the OCP indicator, basically draws a line along the top of the tail as the breakout line. So I don't know of any other indicator that does this, and it does it in signals to you when there's a potential trade. So you can start looking for a break of this sort of key level that's now like that's where you'd start to take the trade from. And it's really simple. It's just a rejection of lower prices. So buyers have basically shifted in here. So sellers took control here, and then buyers took control on this candle, making it so that it was basically a shift from sellers to aggressive buyers. And that type of thing is very difficult to spot by yourself manually, and that's where the OCP indicator comes in. So it's not just two simple candles, it's a power shift between the sell side and the buy side. So yeah, it's pretty interesting. It's momentum building, but it's a leading indicator, not a lagging one. It's happening. This is happening in real time, which is really cool. So yeah, so that's what the system looks for. It's really simple, but it's powerful, which is really cool. And so yeah, this is the landing page. I'll leave a link so you guys can go and check it all out. There's tons of examples, but I'm about to show you half a dozen real examples for SPY 1 minute chart. And what's amazed me about this system, this OCP indicator system, is that it works well in the 1 minute as well. So normally these indicators don't work so well on the shorter time frames. Usually they're better on like the daily or the hourly or even the 5 minute. On the 1 minute is when things usually get really choppy, but this one does really well. So they have loads of different examples. It works in crypto, futures, ETFs, stocks, penny stocks. It works on everything. And it's really good. So I think you guys should definitely check this out. I know a lot of people have already bought this based on my last video, and I think it's something that you guys could really benefit from. I know it's something I'm going to use going forward quite a bit. Anyway, let's look at some examples. So you can see on the left here, see, let me draw this candle. So here's that candle here with that long tail, and then it closed within the tail, so within the body of the candle at least. So it showed that basically the selling was taken up, even though this was a red candle, it was still within the system here. So then that triggered on the next candle. This is the 1 minute on SPY, by the way. The next candle was triggered right here, and it basically pushed a little arrow, which means like we're starting to break this red line right here. And then, of course, it did on the next candle break all the way down. And look at this, this big move was precipitated by this OCP candle formation. A really good example actually is this one. So I'll zoom in a little bit so you can see this. It's a little bit cleaner than that last one in terms of like the rules for the candles and things. So you can see like right here was the tail candle. So we had this tail candle, and then we had the next candle closed inside the tail, and then the next candle broke through the top of the tail, and that signified a breakout to the upside. And sure enough, we had this move all the way up to here, bit of a bull flag, and then a continuation all the way up here as well. So pretty good. So these are just like the last few signals from the last trading day on Friday here. So here's an interesting one. This is where there wasn't a breakout, so it doesn't always work, obviously. But the cool thing is the system tells you not to get in. So you can see we had this tail candle, but the next candle didn't really close in the right place here. So we drew this line across the tail. So the signal was kind of starting, but we never got an arrow like this arrow right here, or this arrow back here. We never got an arrow because the price never broke through this line. Instead, it broke down. So you wouldn't have taken this trade. So this wouldn't have been a trade. You only enter when the arrow appears. So pretty good, pretty cool. So here's another example, a bit choppier. We had the long candle tail here. We had a close within this candle body. It didn't close in the tail, but it closed within the candle body, obviously, like at this level right here. And then it broke down slowly all the way down here. And then we had an opposing signal where we had the tail. This candle right here actually was the tail. So looking right here. So the OCP candle formation was these two 1 minute candles. And then it took a few minutes, a couple of minutes, 3 or 4 minutes to break up through here. And then bang, big move up, continued all the way up here. So yeah, it's a really cool system. Here's another failed one, but it wouldn't be a trade you'd get into because there was no break of this line. So you have to wait for the break of this line, like this one. So we had a doji-like candle here, it had a bit of a tail. I'm not sure how the system detects whether the tail is big enough or not. Like that's kind of proprietary information, I think. But then we had a candle break the top of this line here, and sure enough, we saw an uptrend here. Again, another failed signal, but this isn't, again, you wouldn't have entered here because there was no break of this line. So you wait for the break of the line, and so this would be considered a signal that didn't fire really fully. So anyway, those are just the random examples on SPY 1 minute. Pretty good. This doesn't repaint. These are real legitimate levels that did occur in real time. I watched them print. And I think this is a system that you could really benefit from. So if you want to learn more, again, I'll leave a link in the description below and you can go to this page here for the OCP indicator and read all about it. And I think there's a purchase link at the bottom somewhere. Hopefully it's helpful and I'll talk to you guys soon.